Took Sonic long enough to get an engineer for that rusty rust bucket. What's up everybody, Stevdez here. It's time to wrap up this Sonic timeline, lacking one of its biggest contributors, Miles Prower. In the last parts, we determined that the Sonic timeline would have ended at Sonic Adventure 2 because Sonic was kind of in jail. However, Mephiles' time interactions do occur. Mephiles is able to save Sonic, Sonic is able to save Shadow, and remembering Old Man Shadow who let him out, he and Shadow start forming a bit of a bond. Not only was he able to save the world, but he was able to save Shadow in the process because he's so used to using the Chaos Emeralds as often as he's had to throughout this timeline. Thus, the confusion of whether or not we're seeing the real or fake Shadow as interpreted by Shadow the Hedgehog, yeah, that's the real Shadow. And with that friendship in tow, GUN, the government of the United Nations, is able to be more productive. They essentially handle any sort of technological issue. And with only a handful of games left, let's not waste any more time. This is the end of this trilogy of videos entitled, What If Sonic Never Met Tails? Following Sonic 06 in the timeline, we're treated to Sonic Rivals and Sonic Rivals 2, which was a godsend in comparison to that title. Shadow. Honestly, the first game wouldn't change much. The main characters are Sonic, Knuckles, Shadow, and Silver. So, yeah, even though Tails has a couple lines in it, he doesn't do anything productive. Besides that, there would actually be more teamwork involved because he would have a better relationship with Knuckles with all the times he's had to use the Master Emerald, and trusting Knuckles with the Chaos Emeralds, and Shadow after Sonic Adventure 2, which I already explained. People will talk. Yeah, Sonic Rivals has people talking and saying what they know about the situation. I said it was a godsend in comparison to Sonic 06. Any Sonic game, even Sonic R is a god. No, it isn't. Sonic Rivals 2 would also be a relatively quick title. However, Sonic would arrive at the Ifrit last, wouldn't he? I mean, the only reason he arrived as quickly as he did was because Tails was flying the tornado. The souped-up tornado from the original timeline. This timeline's tornado is gathering rust. And dust, but mostly rust. I'm kidding. Sonic would keep his plane clean, but he probably wouldn't use it very often. Sonic Rivals 2's plot is entirely based upon the idea of every character having a sidekick or someone to rely on. They're always in teams of two. So Sonic being alone here, let's tweak that a bit and see if we can get a better story out of this. Here, I think we can give Sonic a new partner in the form of Silver. Silver, by this point, has never met Sonic. Because the flame was blown out, Silver didn't need to go to the past. Mephiles still went to the past, but like I explained in my last video, it's a straight timeline. Mephiles had to go to the past in order for his timeline to exist. However, Silver would see this hedgehog, see how quick he is, and probably want to use that. Sonic naturally would be after Eggman, and Silver would reveal that it's not your world's Eggman, it's Eggman Nega. The duo would be great, but then that brings up the question as to who Espio's partner is. Vector, Charmy, Mighty, Ray, take your pick. There's a multitude of characters that could fill in for Chaotix. I mean, let's be honest. Because he has the speedy hedgehog getting rings for him, he's not gonna run out of power anytime soon. And with all the rings that Sonic is able to collect, that means Silver can keep up. Therefore, Sonic would still be there at the end in order to face off against the Ifrit, just like everyone else. Eggman Nega would be trapped in Ifrit's dimension. Eggman Nega would be trapped in Ifrit's dimension, and the day is saved. And now we get into the Soul Dimension with Blaze the cat. In Sonic Rush, two stories are happening here. Blaze's and Sonic's. Tails really doesn't play much of a role in this game. As a matter of fact, I don't think he's even in it. In its direct sequel, however, Sonic Rush Adventures, boy boy, Tails is the reason Sonic's in it. Tails is the one that sensed that energy on his scanners and got on the tornado and got Sonic to the tornado or the cyclone or the hurricane, whatever you call it, in the middle of the ocean. He's the reason why Sonic woke up woozy on a beach. Oh boy, so, Eggman Nega wins? Well, not quite. The good doctor knows that Sonic does not trust him in this timeline. So, when he goes to try to recruit Sonic, Eggman Nega is one step ahead of him and offers the doctor a nice partnership. He's already got the super powerful MacGuffin, and the world is pretty much his. However, he kinda needs a co-pilot for that ending mech. Who's smart enough to fill that role? Why not one of his ancestors? Therefore, Eggman and Eggman Nega join forces far earlier. Blaze knows that the Sol dimension is about to fall. She sends Marine out there to get the help of a blue hedgehog known as Sonic. Marine just asks how she'll know who it is, and Blaze just says you'll know. There's not a lot of blue hedgehogs in that world. One day on the beach, Sonic's just lounging in his chair, soaking up some rays. Eggman hasn't been active. It'll be alright. You just relax. Knuckles tells him that the Master Emerald has been acting kind of funny. And Sonic just blows this off. He's just wants to enjoy his vacation. Eggman's not doing anything. This is something that Knuckles can handle on his own. Why not? Just relax. Yeah. But that stops shortly. For you see, someone got shipwrecked trying to go through a cyclone at sea, and that girl shipwrecks onto the beach. Naturally, Sonic wants to know what's going on, and as soon as he approaches the girl, a storm brews out of nowhere. Yeah, okay, Knuckles might be onto something.
Well, now you've got my attention, Knuckles. How are we getting to Angel Island?
Knuckles tosses one of the Chaos Emeralds to Sonic. Sonic uses Chaos Control to get all three of them onto Angel Island. On the island, Sonic sees what the Master Emerald is seeing, and sure enough, asks where the Raccoon girl came from. The Master Emerald shows them the scene that we just saw, where Blaze sends Marine the Raccoon on a jet ski in order to get help. The girl then wakes up, and sure enough, she sees a blue hedgehog, and asks if that's Mr. Sonic. Sonic nods, and then the girl just gets up and rushes to him, grabbing his hands and begging him for help. After getting the scoop that Blaze sent her, Sonic gives Knuckles a thumbs up. It's time for another adventure. He then asks if the Master Emerald can take them to his hangar, and puts the Chaos Emerald down on the shrine. I would hope it would stay safe this time. After they get to the hangar, Marine is surprised to see the plane the way it is. Oh my gosh, this is an old model. Ooh, I'm gonna nerd out about this. I'm an engineer. Hey, what's your name, kid?
It's Marine. Marine the Raccoon, Mr. Sonic.
Well, when we get back, how would you like to tinker with it? It's not like Sonic's using the tornado in this timeline. So, why not? He's more than happy to let his plane be with someone who knows how to take care of it. The three eventually arrive in their world, but because the tornado's not as souped up, it still crashes. Knuckles is nowhere to be seen, Marine is nowhere to be seen, and Blaze is nowhere to be seen. In the end of the game, Sonic, Blaze, and Knuckles, because he's here now, use the Sol Emeralds to become their super forms. Naturally, they save the day. Sonic and the Secret Rings, nobody cares about. Sonic and the Black Knight, still nobody cares about. Just replace Tails with Marine and let's keep going. Now we get to Sonic Unleashed, where Tails and the Tornado are actually an integral part of the story because Sonic needs to get over the broken plates somehow. However, the Tornado's still around, and it's not like Sonic doesn't know how to fly his own plane. Not only that, but Marine does come back this time. Heading to his hangar at night, Werehog, Sonic, and Chip go and check in on Marine to see if she can fly him somewhere. Sure enough, Marine is horrified at the transformation of the werehog. This scares the daylights out of his new mechanic, but after getting the story, she's more than happy to help with a new and improved souped-up tornado. Marine would use kind of a different way. With Sonic's natural chaos energy, he's able to boost the ship, make it break, control the speed of it. Since their last adventure, she's perfected Chaos Emerald technology in order to use the emerald that Sonic always has with him in case he needs to use Chaos Control on the plane. Sonic Unleashed would play out as normal, the only difference is the super smart Tails is not there. And releasing the Professor would be a little bit more violent considering he's in his werehog form. Sonic Unleashed would just play out as normal with less Tails. Sonic Colors would also play out pretty similarly, the main difference being Marine's there's a lot more sign language being thrown around, and a lot more Eggman evil rants. In Generations, instead of rescuing modern Tails, Sonic would rescue Ray and Mighty. They were at the beginning of this timeline with Sega Sonic the Hedgehog. It would take a few zones for both Sonics to figure out that their speed is what's fixing everything. Sonic may be brash, but he's intelligent. He's able to pick up on those context clues. Not like they had a problem once they figured out speed fixes everything. Don't do drugs, kids. 2 games left, folks. 2 games. In Sonic Lost World, Tails was required. This game, as mediocre as it was, especially in the convoluted plot, it just seemed like they took some of Sonic Boom's plot and put the better Sonic characters on top of it. It did show that Tails does do something. Marine and Sonic would fly to the Lost Hex, and after getting there, the tornado crashes, the beginning segments play out, all that's good. However, there is a little side mission here. A sort of trial mission that Sonic can do. He needs to collect rings. Marine's not as good as Tails was, and Tails knew the tornado inside and out. Marine would need a few rings to get the engine started and make sure everything's good. However, Marine is a little quicker to talk. During the scene where Sonic kicks the conch shell out of Eggman's hand, yeah, Marine's a bit quicker to talk and tells Sonic to steal it. For the sake of argument, though, and because the plot was entirely hinged on Sonic's brash actions, let's say he doesn't listen to Marine and just kicks it away just like the original timeline. This would still force Sonic and Eggman to work together, even though Sonic absolutely does not trust Eggman in any way, shape, or form. That means Marine, having a much better silver tongue than Tails does, would be the mediator between the two. Things also go a bit smoother because Eggman is the only one that can shut down the machine. It's not a matter of Tails thinking, yeah, you don't trust me, Sonic. No. Marine knows she can't shut that thing down. However, Marine knows that she can still strong-arm Eggman into turning it off. However, this is where it divides from the original timeline. As the fake capsule isn't intercepted by Tails, it works. Marine isn't smart enough to know that that capsule is a fake. As a matter of fact, of any adventure they've been on, I would think that Marine's never seen one of these capsules. Sonic's captured, his brass attitude does show off against the Deadly Six. However, he doesn't go out without a fight. As a matter of fact, Sonic causes a bunch of damage around the place. If he's gonna lose the battle, he might as well halt their progress a bit. This leaves Marine and Eggman to just keep going, but Eggman just wants to leave. Sonic's captured. He's gonna get turned into a robot. Eggman wins. However, Marine argues to Eggman's ego. She knows where to pick at that guy. So what? Sonic will be happy as a robot. And I'll be happy because he'll be out of my way.
Oh, that's right. And I forgot that it took a bunch of Zeddy to take out Sonic instead of the brilliant scientist Dr. Egghead.
Eggman! You know my name is Dr. Eggman!
Nobody's gonna care unless we save Sonic!
Unfortunately, Eggman agrees. The only one that takes out that little blue annoyance is him. They put their heads together and repurposed the Tornado, Orbot, and Cubot into a fighting machine. That way, they can go rescue Sonic, Sonic can get them to the machine, and Eggman can shut it down. In this timeline, Eggman doesn't get separated. They have what they wanted. With the blue blur, they can hunt Eggman at their leisure. Eggman would reprogram the machine to return the stolen energy and glare at the two.
This isn't over! I'll be back, Hedgehog, and I'll have a more powerful robot army!
Little did we know that the good doctor was going to make well on that promise. Sonic Forces is the last game in this timeline. How could this game be changed? It's pretty straightforward that, you make a persona, that character is important in his own right, and there's really no Tails, so either way the Resistance is going to work as hard as they can in order to fix everything as fast as they can. So how different could Sonic Forces get? Well, instead of a persona, why not a familiar face? In the beginning cutscene, Knuckles would explain that, yes, they lost Green Hill. However, there is one recruit that was able to make it out. One short, yellow, two-tailed fox who was an engineer and had the right equipment to survive the onslaught. His name is Miles Prower. Sure, this Miles Prower is a little bit more cowardly, but with his machines and intelligence, he's able to make a difference. Just picture this, okay? Sonic was reintroduced so early in that timeline to give the player's character more meaning. Sonic makes an effort to be friends with this guy or girl in order to further make your character feel more important. In this case, Miles Prower could be a new character that people can get used to. People can understand. People can learn about. This is a more creative character than your somewhat silent, annoying Mobian character. Not only that, but he'd have his own voice actor, he'd have his own backstory, he'd understand. Miles has the smarts. He's able to figure out how Eggman's plan works. All the times that Tails says something could still be Tails saying something without that Mobian character. If the Mobian character was given more of a personality and you get to decide, just what species and what gender it was, it would have made for a more interesting character, not just a blank slate that you yourself have to act like you are. The game's final boss still goes the way it goes, with instead Sonic and Tails teaming up for the first time. The end of the game still is the end of the game, with Miles Prower and Sonic working together to defeat Infinite. At the end, Miles would still go a separate way, and we still get that dialogue between him and Sonic, but with the ending of this game, Miles is able to take away something from this. A new nickname, Tails. So friends, how do you like the trilogy? Is it what you were looking for? What about the other characters? What about the other characters? Let's keep this going. I'm excited to work on my next Sonic timeline, and I want you to decide what it is. Vote in the poll above for a new character to be removed in the sequel to this trilogy of videos. And for more what-ifs in the realm of video gaming, such as the previous 2 parts, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao! I wanna fly high so I can reach the highest. Above the heavens, somebody will be waiting for me somewhere. I gotta fly higher.